Omori is a game I've wanted to talk about for a while. It's one of the most emotionally impactful games that I've ever played. Its story means a lot to me, so whenever I've considered diving into it, I've wanted to do it justice. I could wait even longer to be my perfect self capable of making this video, the best it could be, but I'm ready to talk about it now. I will give the disclaimer that Omori has some disturbing psychological horror elements and extremely dark themes. I'll be touching on some of those themes in this video, so be careful. Omori is a turn-based RPG with retro aesthetics, in a similar vein to Undertale. A large portion of the game has a very cute and wholesome tone, but other parts are more grounded in reality. As mentioned before, the game also mixes in quite a few psychological horror elements. The art style is mixed and matched like a scrapbook. It's mostly pixel art and hand-drawn characters, but there's also photographed elements and other strange styles mixed in. This creates a very handmade sketchbook feel to the game's visuals. The soundtrack varies between energetic and fun, somber, or eerie. The gameplay is pretty simple. It's a turn-based RPG without any skill-based action elements, though the emotion mechanic that acts kind of like rock, paper, scissors or elemental weaknesses gives the battles just enough depth. For me, the thing that makes Omori great is its story, so let's get into that. We're getting to spoiler territory. I have faith you know what to do with that information. As many stories do, the start of Omori introduces you to the characters in the world. You are a black and white boy named Omori who exists in a black and white void called Whitespace. Outside of this uninspiring space are your friends. There's the hyperactive Kel, who clashes with the headstrong Aubrey. Kel's older brother, Hiro, is the calming presence that keeps everyone together. At a forest playground, you also meet Mari, Omori's kind and responsible older sister, and Basil, a soft boy who shares his photo album of wholesome, candid moments. Everyone decides to visit Basil's house in the woods, except for Mari, who sticks to wherever there's a picnic blanket. When you get to Basil's house, however, he finds a strange photo, and before you can get a good look at it, you are made to wake up. You wake up in a dark, empty house. The boy you play as looks similar to Mori, maybe older. He can go by any name, but he will refer to him as Sunny, his default name. It seems that the world you were in was just a dream. Based on a message on your phone, you can conclude that your family is moving soon, and Kel wants to see you. You're hungry, so you have to visit the kitchen to eat. However, you are scared of heights, so going downstairs is frightening. In a half-nightmare state, you confront your fears when you fight a disturbing creature on the stairs, and overcome it by learning to calm down. You eat, then go back to bed. You return to the dream world of Headspace as Omori again, who seems to be your dream persona. You meet your friends again, but you learn that Basil is missing. The only being in his strange house is a strange shape that can only be described as something. You search around the vast forest, but there's no luck finding him. Omori and his friends decide to explore other worlds, a planet on top of a ladder. You help people out in case they know where Basil is. The person you help in Otherworld is Space Boyfriend, a space pirate captain who has been dumped by his ex-girlfriend, Sweetheart. In an attempt to cheer him up, you uncover his and Sweetheart's mixtape from the junkyard and play it for him. Instead of cheering him up though, the song just makes him angry, changing him to his evil alter ego, Space Ex-Boyfriend. You fight and defeat this gloriously sinister twink, restoring him to his usual mild persona of Space Boy. He doesn't know where Basil is, but after helping him out, you follow some red tracks into the fields. In these fields, you walk past empty scenes from your memories, and then wake up. In the waking world, it has become morning. Kel is waiting at your door. You can choose to ignore him and experience an alternate gameplay route where you stay inside. But for the purposes of this video, I'll go through the regular route. It's been a few years since anyone has seen Sunny. Sunny and Kel decide to hang out in their hometown of faraway town. At one point, they encounter Basil being tormented by some bullies. Aubrey is among the bullies, calling him a creep. Sunny and Kel fight Aubrey, but they disperse when they realize that Sunny brought a knife with him. Omori wielding a knife in Headspace was standard, but unfortunately, it makes sense that Sunny bringing a knife to a fight in the real world takes things too far. Sunny and Kel discover that Aubrey has taken Basil's photo album, so they search for Aubrey to get it back. They find Aubrey in a church. When Kel tries asking for the album back, she argues with him. She brings up that Mari is dead. The argument escalates to a fight in the church, with all the other attendees whispering about how troubled Aubrey and her opponents are. You don't get the album back until Kel rescues it from the trash. They bring it back to Basil, who is barely keeping it together. On top of being bullied and Sunny moving away, his grandmother is also sick. You look through the album, but some of the pictures are missing. At least it's something. At the end of the day, Sunny returns home. He encounters another nightmare creature, this time in the form of a spider. He overcomes his fear of spiders by learning to focus, then goes back to sleep. Back in Headspace, your search for Basil takes you to the spider-infested Firefly Forest. There's a being in the forest called Daddy Longlegs that tells you about how Headspace was constructed by fragments of dreams on top of a world that a dreamer wanted hidden. This hints at the nature of how Headspace was made. Deep in the forest, you reach a stage where Sweetheart is filming her dating show, Sweetheart's Quest for Hearts. The show needs one more contestant, so Hiro is chosen. Sweetheart is smitten by Hiro, but Hiro doesn't feel the same way. Sweetheart is offended and sends you and your friends to the dungeon. You escape and explore Sweetheart's castle, then make it back to another filming of the show. This time, Sweetheart has chosen herself as her fiancé and is about to marry herself. Aubrey says that it's wrong for Sweetheart to marry herself, so Sweetheart fights you and your friends. After you defeat her, Space Boy arrives and marries Sweetheart. The two leave for their honeymoon, leaving you to resume your search for Basil. A hole in the stage leads you to a lost library. There are books documenting some of Omori or Sunny's memories. After traveling through the library, you wake up. In the waking world, you hang out with Kel again. This time, Hiro is expected to return from college at the end of the day. Sunny helps Kel get things ready for Hiro's return. Eventually, you hear a commotion in the forest. You find a secret hideout where Sunny and his friends used to hang out, and Aubrey is bullying Basil again. Tensions are high, and Aubrey ends up pushing Basil into a lake. A split second later, Aubrey realizes how messed up that was. Sunny goes into the lake to help Basil. He becomes unconscious and faces his third nightmare creature. He learns to persevere and overcome his fear of drowning. Sunny wakes up with Hiro looking after him, as if Hiro had saved him and Basil. While Aubrey is having a moment, Hiro helps Sunny and Kel take Basil home. At the end of the day, Hiro and Kel decide to spend the night at Sunny's place. Sunny goes back to sleep. This time in Headspace, Omori's friends are missing. They have all gone under the sea into Deepwell. You travel there and find Kel at the front of a casino called the Last Resort. Wholesome, the boss of the establishment, sent Kel far away to greet visitors and for no other reason. Kel says that Aubrey and Hiro also have jobs, so they should reunite with each other before looking for Basil again. When everyone tries to end their contracts with Wholesome, he sends his goons to fight you. After defeating all the goons he has available to send, he accepts the end of the contracts and lets you proceed. Your exploration leads you to search for the Sea Witches, who Sweetheart is also searching for in order to create her perfect suitor, a clone of herself. She had broken up with Spaceboy again. You find them inside Humphrey, a whale with an impossibly large interior. When Sweetheart stiffs the Sea Witches of their payment, they have to find other ways to feed Humphrey. They decide that you can be sacrificed to feed Humphrey, so first the witches, then Humphrey himself fights you. You battle your way out of Humphrey and escape. Some voices tell Omori that he must find the truth. During your journey, you collect keys with letters on them in a game of Hangman. With the final letter you need, the message reads, "Welcome to Black Space." Upon the message being complete, a hole opens up in Basil's neglected house. Omori drops down into the hole and enters Black Space. The world is full of doors that lead to strange and disturbing places. Some of them are odd, some are nightmarish, and many of them include dream forms of Basil under various kinds of torment. After exploring these realms, and deciding to save Basil, you lose control of Omori, and he ascends the throne of Red Hands. Then you wake up. When you wake up, Sunny, Kel, and Hiro go to check on Aubrey. She's kept the missing photos this whole time. They are all the photos that include Mari. She's been cleaning them since someone scribbled over them in marker. You look through the photo album, and everyone makes up. The familiar gang of Kel, Hiro, Aubrey, and Sunny spend a final day in their hometown together, reflecting on their friendship. At the end of the day, they check in on Basil again. He's home, but locked in his room. Sunny and his friends sleep over for the night, and Sunny falls asleep. When Sunny is asleep, he enters a series of dream worlds where he is collecting photos. They're strange and cryptic, showing strange angles of trees and walls. Then Sunny starts to acquire more photos. Sunny and Mari are there. Basil seems to be the perspective of the pictures. There are photos of Mari's body, not awake. There are photos at the stairs, and of a broken violin. Slowly, you start to piece together what happened. Previously, when reflecting on Sunny's memories, it's described how he and Mari both had musical instruments to practice. Mari had the piano, and Sunny has the violin. Mari had a big recital coming up, and Sunny was spending more time away from his friends to practice. Sunny grew resentful of this. He felt like this was disrupting his cherished friendships. The strange photos start with Sunny's broken violin at the bottom of the stairs, as if the tensions of music practice rose to the point where Sunny broke it himself. Mari is arguing with Sunny on top of the stairs, and in a moment of frustration boiling over, Sunny shoves Mari down the stairs. Then we see Sunny and Basil panicking, checking on Mari, now unresponsive, praying for her. They seem to realize that she's dead. They carry her body down the stairs and into the backyard. They tie a noose with a jump rope and hang Mari from a tree, framing her death as a suicide. This whole time, Sunny's friends only knew the story of the suicide. They never knew why Mari would hang herself. This whole time, Sunny was the reason for Mari's death. It wasn't intentional, it was manslaughter, but Sunny's involvement in it can't be denied. The image of Mari hanging from the tree shifts into a strange shape that has appeared to you several times at this point. Something. Sunny wakes up and confronts Basil in his room. Basil is trying to rationalize the dark truth of how Mari died. He's trying to believe that it wasn't Sunny, it was something behind him. The being that stalks him. Sunny didn't kill Mari, he's his best friend, he's a good person. Good people don't cause others to die. He didn't scribble over the album photos. A creature is tormenting Basil as well. Something all around him. This confrontation escalates into a fight. Sunny and Basil try to fight each other's somethings, but they're just beating up each other. Both become unconscious. Sunny appears in a dream again. It's his home neighborhood. Basil appears in his dream. He tells Sunny that the photos in the album are reminders that those memories belong to him. Sunny is in those photos, having a good life with his friends. No matter what happens, the fact that Sunny has those memories means he is not just a bad person. He has capacity for good, and he can be good if he lets himself be. Sunny explores his memories in his dreams. He finds a version of his violin in his house full of memories. Then Sunny explores several scenes with his friends from the photo album. Suddenly, the violin repairs itself. Sunny reaches a stage, like what he and Mari may have performed at if things had gone differently. Sunny's friends appear in his dream to encourage him, and Sunny takes the stage to play his violin. He breaks down in emotion, letting himself feel things he had bottled up for so long. He encounters his alternate persona, Omori, the empty and human vessel he created for himself. They face off against each other. Omori wields a knife, telling Sunny that he is a bad person who doesn't deserve to love. Sunny wields his violin, remembering the encouraging words his friends have given him. Eventually, Sunny prevails, and Omori fades away. Sunny wakes up in a hospital and finds his friends by Basil's hospital bed. He finally decides to tell them everything. The some things tormenting him and Basil disappear, as they both smile in relief. So that's the story of Omori. Omori is very important to me because few other pieces of media have managed to make me emotional in the same way. But what made Omori effective in tugging at my heartstrings? Let's figure that out. I think one thing that Omori does expertly is how it uses contrast and tone. There are three categories of tone in Omori. There's the wholesome, whimsical adventure stuff in Headspace. There's the deeply disturbing psychological horror of the depths of Sunny's mind. And there's the familiar feeling mundanity of the waking world. All these tones contrast the others, making each part of the game feel powerful. The scary parts of the game wouldn't be as disturbing if Omori were purely a horror game. It needs the wholesome and mundane moments to provide context. This goes for the other corners of Omori's tone as well. The whimsical, wholesome stuff feels like a breath of fresh air after the sections that feel too real. The mundane moments feel like a reminder that things are okay and there's more to the world than Sunny's internal troubles. Contrast is the key to the power of Omori's story, as it is with many other forms of art. Omori has a lot of sections that take place in dreams, and it's effective at using the dream setting in creative ways. Most of Headspace is pretty straightforward as far as team-based RPGs go, but there are a few set pieces which feel especially surreal and dreamlike. There's the cattail field in Lost Library where Omori reflects on distant memories. There's the sections of Firefly Forest and Deeper Well which lead to insights on the nature of the world. Black Space has several unique and strange bite-sized worlds which all feel evocative to explore in upsetting ways. Some of my favorite parts of Omori are when it would get strange. It's also very easy to become attached to the characters in Omori. There are many charming and funny moments of them, and when there are more dramatic scenes of them, you're invested in their feelings and well-being. Kel is a ray of sunshine who sticks by your side no matter what. His goofy and often reckless attitude often brings up the mood, though Kel is also impacted by the drama of everything even though it doesn't appear to affect him much. When things get tough, he stands by everyone's happiness and what he thinks is right, and refuses to back down. Similar to Kel, his brother Hiro is an uplifting presence. Hiro exudes serenity and confidence in a way that makes him easy to trust. When Basil is rescued from the lake, he's the one to make sure Basil is home and safe. Despite Hiro's competence, he also has moments of hesitation, because he wants to do the right thing. Aubrey is a complicated character. In Headspace, she's headstrong, but she also aligns with the archetype of a playful young girl in many ways. It's a shock to see her aggressive punk demeanor in the waking world, but it also feels like a natural progression of what Aubrey would become. The way she treats Basil is wrong, but Aubrey also knows very little peace. You may notice this before the fight with her in that church, where everyone is whispering behind her back about how much she's let herself go. Aubrey is constantly reminded of her mistakes, so much so that she struggles to move past them. When she pushes Basil into the lake, she instantly regrets it. Having played Omori multiple times, this scene seems eerily similar to the truth of what happened with Mari. Sunny and Aubrey can relate to each other on the feeling of instantly regretting a huge mistake, and not knowing whether they can ever redeem themselves. In the end, Aubrey wishes Sunny happiness, the opportunity to move past his mistakes. She must be wishing the same thing for herself. It's nice to see Aubrey rediscover her peace when she reconnects with everyone at the end. Basil undergoes a similar kind of transformation to Aubrey. In Headspace, he's the nice, soft-spoken boy with a flower crown who has an aura of innocence. In the waking world, he is breaking down under all the torments that have accumulated around him over the years. His soft and understanding nature is barely keeping intact. Among his friends, he's known for keeping a smile on his face no matter what, but that smile is masking a lot of pain that is probably best released in some form. I think Basil serves an important role in Omori. He's a damsel in distress in both Headspace and the waking worlds, but I don't think that's his most important role. Basil's almost the voice of Sunny's thoughts. You don't get much from Sunny or Omori in terms of what they're thinking, mainly observations from their friends or some descriptions of things. Omori and Sunny don't talk. When Sunny learns the truth near the end, Basil is the one expressing panicked thoughts about how they couldn't have done what they did. It was something else. Basil expresses the panic that is hard to read in Sunny's demeanor. Basil is also the one to tug Sunny in the other direction. A version of Basil in Sunny's dreams reminds him that his memories are real, and they make him a person capable of good. Basil seems to act as Sunny's conscience, both the guilt and the hope. Mari is a major character in Omori with a large presence, but she also haunts the narrative distantly. She's not alive, so we only observe her through the impressions she has on the other characters. You interact with Mari a lot in Headspace, but that version of her is still just an impression. That's how Sunny or Omori thinks of her. Besides that, we only observe Mari through everyone's memories. We don't see much of Mari besides what other perceives her as, kind, responsible, and wise. She's a friend, and to Sunny she's a big sister, and to Hiro she's a romantic partner. Everything we see of Mari is the impact she left on everyone else, and the love everyone shares with her is the emotional core which the story revolves around. The moment that the truth of Mari's death is revealed is very important for the story to work, and that section of the game works disturbingly well. It's effective in pacing out just enough clues at a time for you to slowly piece the truth together. You may start out confused, cautiously curious, and uneasy. Then you put the truth together. Every other photo you collect just makes the picture clearer. It's a harrowing sequence that's really well done. Over the course of Omori, your understanding of Sunny's mental state evolves. At the very start of the game, you may get the feeling that there's something off, but you're not sure. Then you learn that Sunny is moving somewhere without his friends, which is pretty sad, and would be enough to explain Sunny's unhappiness. Then you learn that Mari is dead, which would definitely be traumatizing enough on its own. When the truth of Mari's death is revealed, it seems like there's no going back. It was an action of Sunny's that killed Mari. He was just tired of music practice taking away his time, but then he did something that almost completely ruined everyone's friendships. If he just hadn't made that one mistake, everyone would be fine. It would be fine if Mari were busy with recitals because at least she would be alive. At least everyone would still be friends. They could have spent more time at the treehouse. They could have seen each other grow. They didn't, because Sunny did something that ruined everything. Sunny's shattered mental state is all too understandable. He has every reason to think he is a heartless monster. It's difficult to think that he could ever be a normal person ever again. Still, fundamentally, Sunny is a person. People are complex. Just because someone does a bad thing doesn't mean they're a bad person. Sunny may be quiet and shy, but he cherishes his friends greatly. Basil's photo album describes him as a good listener. He's a comforting presence. Everyone loves Sunny, and it's clear that Sunny loves everyone else. He cherishes every memory he has of his friends. Sunny doesn't stop being Sunny because of one mistake. It's a cruel fate that Sunny is responsible for what he did, but Sunny's fate doesn't determine what he can do with his free will. Sunny is someone who, if given the choice, would do good. The character of Omori represents what Sunny thinks he is. Omori is cold, emotionless, and seems disconnected from the joys of life. While his friends fight with toys or cooking utensils not meant for slicing, he fights with a plain knife. When Sunny causes Mari's death, he and Basil both can believe that Sunny could do something like that. They couldn't conceive of a good person doing what they did. Omori was born from this worldview. Omori is the version of Sunny that is capable of killing a loved one in cold blood. He's an empty vessel made to contain the simple idea of what Sunny thinks he is. The two ideas of what a person can be clash in the final battle of Omori. Omori constantly tells Sunny that he doesn't deserve love. He will always be a bad person. He represents the idea that there is no such thing as a complicated person, only good or bad. He considers Sunny a bad person. Sunny beats Omori by remembering that his friends love him, and he loves his friends. The song he plays at the end is accompanied by a beautiful animated montage of Sunny's life and friends. He can't be reduced to a good or a bad person. He is Sunny, someone who has done both good and bad things. This is what defeats Omori. I know that Omori means a lot to me, because it is one of the only things in recent memory to make me cry. It's not easy to make me cry nowadays, so if something manages to get some tears out of me, that counts for something. I still remember the two scenes that made me cry when I first played Omori. The first time I cried was when I got back to Headspace after the first day in the Waking World. This is after encountering Aubrey bullying Basil, and attacking her with a knife. I didn't even think anything of it leading up to that moment. I got used to using a knife in Headspace, so it was a cruel reality check to be reminded that fighting with knives is not okay. When I saw the cute and wholesome version of Aubrey in Headspace, it was a sudden shock comparing her to a real-world version. Aubrey is such a good person to Omori in Headspace, but Sunny attacked her with a knife in the real world. I think the first time playing through this scene, I was going through a lot of feelings reflecting on what Aubrey had become, but also what Sunny had become. The second time I remember crying was right before Memory Lane, where you mend your violin. This is after learning the truth about Mori and fighting Basil. Those are the lowest emotional parts of Sunny's arc, where both he and you, the player, think there's no return to normalcy. At this point, Basil says that your memories are still real. That's right. Despite all of the mistakes Sunny has made, he was still in all of those memories. He experiences friendship and love. When I first played for this scene, I was thinking that all hope was lost, but then hope was gifted back to me in this emotionally powerful scene. There's a reason beyond this that Omori means a lot to me. The story feels very personal. I haven't dealt with anything nearly as traumatizing as what Sunny has gone through, but there is one life experience I've had that I share with Sunny. Several years before I first played this game in 2021, I moved to another town myself. There was only one kid I knew in my old town that I thought I could truly call a best friend. But then I moved. I barely saw him anymore. I didn't think I would have any friends as good as him again. It was hard for me to make new friends, and it still is. The first couple years after I moved, I felt hopeless. As the years passed, I improved. I got used to my new home and city, and made some new friends. I had probably even grown closer to some of these friends than the one best friend I had in elementary school. Still, for a while, there remained a lingering sense of longing for my old life, a sense that nothing in the future would be better. My life was split in two between the old and the new, but if I could reunite with my old life, it would be complete again. I think Omori helped me finish processing my feelings about moving. I think the game's theme of life getting better is what I needed. Even though Sunny and I have experienced wildly different levels of trauma, we have had similar feelings of hopelessness, believing that the future would never get better. Sunny got over the hopelessness, and I did too. Even by the time I played Omori, I'd felt content in my new life for a few years, but Omori gave me the final push in overcoming my final lingering feelings. Today, whenever my life is about to change, I try my best to remember what Omori told me, that life gets better. I know life does get better because it did, and it will again. You just gotta wait for something to happen. It's hard to say that Omori is objectively one of the best games I've ever played, because objectivity is hard to judge. Oddly enough, I think one of the best subjective metrics of the quality of something is emotion. Does something make you feel emotions that few other things make you feel? Many good pieces of media are good when you think about them, but the best pieces of media aren't something whose quality you think about, you feel them. If a story hits you directly in the deepest parts of your brain, it's probably fair to say that it's effective. That's what Omori did to me, so I still consider it one of the most life-changing pieces of media that I've ever experienced. It's got a perfect balance of eerie and charming. I hope to always cherish it. I hope I did Omori some justice in this video. I hope you enjoyed. Is enjoyed the right word? Omori gets pretty dark. I hope you found this video worthwhile. Goodbye everybody. Sam wishes you well.